Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So today we have one interesting question which reads to say, the waiting time in minutes is uniform between 10 to 50. Find the probability that you have to wait at least 20 minutes. Remember, under probability it is divided into several sections. As we discussed to say, we have discrete and continuous random variables, where discrete results from counting, while continuous results from you making an interval and basing your assumption from that interval being made. So when we are dealing with such, we should understand to say that this is simply a continuous random variable. So we can just draw a table to help us understand what basically this is. So we have 10 to 50 here. So we have 10 to 50. Then remember, we discussed to say that our height is made up of 1 over b minus a, where 1 over b minus a is equivalent to 1 over 50 minus 10, which is the same as 1 over 40. Then if you were to represent your understanding on the probability density function, the probability density function here will be defined by 1 over 40, where you're having intervals from a all the way to b, or elsewhere it will be a 0. So when we are dealing with such, remember they want the probability that it is at least 20. So remember, we discussed earlier on, we said that when we are dealing with such, we are looking at what is referred to as area under the curve. And we know for sure that the area under the curve in this case will be this area we are talking about. So we are going to integrate the general function which we have been given, which is 1 over 40. Remember, the limits are 50 and 20. So when you were to integrate this, you will get the value to be so we'll just divide 1 divided by 40. We get the value to be 0.025. So we get the value to be 0.025x when we are to integrate. Then from here, we just replace in our formula with the value of x, where x in this case is 50, minus 0.025, where x is 20. Then remember, when you were to punch on your calculator here, you will get the value of here to be 1.25. And when you are to multiply these two, you get the value to be 0.5. In that, when you are to subtract, you will get the value to be 0.75. So this is the value that is obtained when the probability is at least 20. So we have one interesting question again. We are going to add to this one. So let us name it B, where we are told we should calculate the mean. So when you are told to calculate the mean under such circumstances, we know the formula for mean is a plus b divided by 2, where a in this case is 10 and b is 50 divided by 2, where you know for sure that 10 plus 50 is 60 divided by 2 is 30. So this is how you calculate the mean for such. Then adding on further, we can even calculate the variance of x, where the variance of x is given by b minus a to the power 2 divided by 12, where we know for sure that b is 50 and a is 10. Then if you were to subtract 50 minus 10, you get the value to be 40. And you know for sure that 40 squared is simply 1,600. Divided by 12, you get the value to be 133.33. And adding on further, which is the last question, we can calculate the standard deviation. Remember, the standard deviation is simply the square root of variance. And when you were to square root variance, which is 133.33, you get the value to be 11.55. So this is how basically you approach such kind of questions. Your host, Gordon Zulu.